Good evening, I'm Nisha John Mohammed and welcome to The Past 7 Days on 6. We take a look back at the events that impacted all lives in the week gone by. So if there's a story you may have missed, here's your chance to catch up. Relentless rains this past week caused catastrophic flooding on the island, damaging thousands of homes. The government declared it a national disaster after more than 4,300 homes were damaged and 500 farmers affected, and nearly 250 people remain in shelters. The rains knocked out power, unleashed landslides, and forced nearly 24 schools to close. Authorities are still distributing relief items, including water, mattresses, and hygiene kits. Here's a recap of the devastation caused by the heavy rains.
It's very horrible to see. It's terrible. It comes like everybody lose everything.
Several residents been taken out here, and you can hear behind me the applause of many of the residents. Relief even as these children and women are brought to safety after several hours of enduring a long wait for relief.
The water just started coming up from the retention pond, the bank break, because we have Guanapo River to the east and we have Caroni River to the south. So the water just started coming straight up our road, and by the time we decide we could do anything, it was too late.
I was actually on top of my rooftop all night with the baby, from like about 9 o'clock last night to 4 o'clock this morning because they actually rescued us.
Look at this. I the water and the water. It's moving back so. So this is everything gone. Yeah. The water level. TV, fridge, stove. Yeah, the water reach counter height. Look at this. That's the family story.
I've been living here over about 30 years. We've been living here, and this is the worst I've ever seen it.
Stranka Trace and El Socorro South, and as you can see, the entire road is impassable. It's flooded with water at least 3 feet high, and this water, we're told, is the runoff from the Caroni River, which burst its banks. A lot of families are marooned in their homes, and residents say they have not seen the ODPM or any disaster management, any corporation. Nobody has visited the area thus far.
Last year we get flooded out and no one helped us. There's the second time it going into 3 days now. You're the first people we are seeing. We are shattered down here to see our houses like this. And now there's the first people. We lost everything. You could see in front is my child crib and all the gas tank and everything that's floating out.
This is the first time we ever encounter flood like this.
47 years.
Yes, it's the worst.
Fridge, TV, while we're trying to salvage things on one end, other end the water just coming in all the doors.
If you look from here in south, you'll see what it is that we have at this time. It's over about 1 kilometer or heading south.
Because of the water, I homeless, child have no books, shoes, anything to go to school. So I guess all the clothes I have on here is exactly what I have right now. So that's the circumstance.
You've lost everything.
Everything.
Ravi, you take her, Ravi, you take her. Pull the ladder for her there. Alright, Mama, don't worry, we got you.
It's over just now.
Easy. Go easy.
You're doing good. You're doing good.
Take your time.
Okay, Mama, coming now.
Keep walking up, Mama, keep walking up. Keep walking up, Mama, keep walking up the next step.
You're making it.
Lovely guardian. Raise your hand, everybody. Remember the guardian and the hotel helping out everybody. Everybody is helping out. Big man Ravi.
We take in some messages, but stay close. Lots more to reflect upon on the past 7 days on 6. Thanks for staying with us. While the waters that ravaged homes and caused the destruction started to recede in some places, tears flowed as thousands counted their losses. Despair pervaded flood-ravaged communities such as Greenvale, Oropun, St. Helena, Kelly Village, Las Lomas, Bamboo and others.
All my children live in any village, and all my children has been hit with this. So nobody can help anybody. And it's just seeing that things that you work so hard for, things that you try to accomplish in life, it's just going down in the drain. So that feeling is a very, very devastated feeling, you know. When I came in here yesterday morning, I just had to hold my head and start to bawl, you know, because I mean, I'm a whole person now. I got to work to try to accomplish these things again.
Morning, I just turned in and twisted and watching and see if I could just pick out anything that I could salvage, but I see nothing really that I could salvage. The mattress totally where the cushion set.
We have appliances strewn over vehicles, things that, you know, are usually seen in people's homes that sit very, very daintily, destroyed now by these waters. One of the things we can't really show you is the smell. There's a resounding smell that sticks with the mud and sewage that kind of lingers on the roadways. There's a lot of mud. It's not advisable for anyone to come in here with slack shoes or slippers or anything of that sort. It's a very, very hazardous area.
Didn't expect
expected it. It was a spoil, so I didn't expect it.
So these are all our qualifications?
All this is she own. All this is she own. All of it is certificate. All is certificate. The front thing she have. All is certificate. All. You can watch it. What university? All.
Everything, lost everything. I have to start life afresh.
What's going on here? This year, you can give me $15,000. How could you give me $15,000? 3 years all I give you and look what I achieve. I work day and night. Come on now, man, do better than that. 15,000, AGC, TTMF, and all the ministers, all they look into this.
Stay tuned, we'll continue to recap the news when we come back. Welcome back. The country has been offered assistance in the wake of the devastating floods by several regional leaders. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has been contacted by the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Andrew Holness, the Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Mottley, the Prime Minister of Dominica, Roosevelt Scarrett, the Prime Minister of Grenada, Dr. Keith Mitchell, and the President of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro. However, Dr. Rowley thanked all the leaders for their concern and best wishes, and indicated that, as difficult as it is, the country is coping for the moment through government agency responses and private outpourings from persons across the nation. Even the Pope has sent a message after extensive flooding and earthquakes in the past few days. Vatican News reported that Pope Francis sent a telegram of solidarity to everyone affected by the flooding over the past few days. The telegram said, quote, "Having learned of the injury and destruction of property caused by the grave earthquakes and floods in Trinidad and Tobago, His Holiness Pope Francis expresses prayerful solidarity with all those affected by these natural disasters." End quote. Well, the way in which the government handled the widespread flooding didn't sit too well with the opposition leader. Opposition leader Kamala Persad-Visessa criticized the government's response efforts and called on them to act with haste to relocate the residents of Greenvale, La Joquita. In a statement issued on Tuesday, Persad-Visessa said Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley ought to vacate families to ensure that they never experience a reoccurrence of a natural disaster of this nature. However, responding to questions over the issue of relocation, Minister of Housing Edmund Dillon said discussions around relocating residents of Greenvale, La Joquita and flood-prone Oropoon Gardens cannot be entertained at this time.
Any consideration at all at this stage in terms of relocation of persons who live in Greenvale or any other state housing development affected by flooding?
The relocation can't come in the picture just yet. Relocation has to be based on a number of information that's coming to the fore. And you see, you can't say that you can just immediately jump and say, let's relocate the entire Greenvale. I mean, that's impossible because we have about 176,000 people on a list right now waiting for homes. We don't have 176,000 homes available.
There would be no Diwali and Christmas celebrations for the police service this year. The information came during the weekly police briefing from Police Commissioner Gary Griffith. But it's all for a good cause. Griffith has confirmed that 266 of his officers would have suffered losses during the floods. And although he is yet to ascertain how many would have lost everything and estimates that it's around 50 officers, there is one thing he knows for certain.
And I have made a decision. It is a command decision. I have also spoken to the Welfare Association on it. Persons may not be pleased with the decision I have made. They may call me Scrooge. But the fact of the matter is that the needs of the few would outweigh the needs of the many enjoying themselves from a social capacity. And that has to do with the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. We usually have annual Christmas events for all members of the police service. Usually 3 Christmas events in North, South, and Tobago, and Diwali celebrations. This amounts to almost $1 million. I have decided that we will forego these events this year because I think it is more critical that the funds that can be utilized towards these events that we have lasted a few hours should be in the hands of the police officers who have been affected by the floods.
Stay tuned, we'll have more news for you when we return. Welcome back. One of Calypso's titans has left us. The phantom loner of Calypso, the Shadow, Winston Bailey, died on Tuesday after a long struggle with illness. He reportedly had a stroke over the weekend. Fane Richards looks back at the life and legacy of the man from Lake Oto.
Shadow sang that the one who invented music had to be terrific, and he was pretty close to the source. Born October 4th, 1941 in Belmont, Winston McGarland Bailey was raised in the Jumbie capital of Tobago, Lake Oto. Shadow had an upbringing immersed in Tobagonian cultural heritage, which inspired folkloric poetry. Folklore and Tobago culture were motifs captured in one of his most timeless compositions, 1974's Bassman.
I was planning to forget Calypso, to go and plant peace in Tobago, but I am afraid I can't make it great. Every night I lie down in my bed, I hearing a bassman in my head, a bam-bim-bam.
The Bassman from Hell spirited him to the first major career title, Road March 1974. More than 2 decades later, in 2000, he won his lone Calypso Monarch crown.
I am accustomed sing sweet, make people happy, get no crown, and be happy. So if they give me something like that, I'm just happy.
Then in 2001, he became a double monarch, running away with the Road March and the International Soca Monarch titles, singing Stranger.
When they rock, pull your rock. When they rock, pull your rock. When they black, pull your black. When they black, pull your black. And wave it, that wave it.
Shadow was awarded the Hummingbird Medal Silver in 2003. He was set to receive an honorary doctorate from UWI St. Augustine.
By the authority vested in me by the Senate and the Council of the University of the West Indies, I now confer on the late Mr. Winston McGarland Bailey, the Shadow, the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa of the University of the West Indies. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand in recognition of the late Winston McGarland Bailey, on whom the university has conferred the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa.
Dr. Winston Bailey, as he was even without the conferral of a piece of paper, has a legacy quite unlike his sobriquet, the phantom that blends in with the darkness and disappears. Shadow's music will remain to bring light, joy, and happiness.
If you're close, tear up, or you're super stop, you could still jump up. When music plays, hey, oh, lady, young baby. Well, everybody, let's sing.
Fane Richards, TV6 News.
Well, that's a wrap on the past 7 days on 6. I'm Nisha John Mohammed. If you joined us late and missed the segments of the show, you can visit our website at tv6tnt.com. Thanks for staying with us. Have a productive week. And be sure to join us the next Sunday at the same time.